from the start.
Yo guys, Features Gaming here, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I thought I would do a sort of vlog where I show you guys how I basically make my videos. So today it is Monday the 3rd of June and I'm going to record a video on Car Factory Tycoon, which you would have seen last week. So I am basically going to record that and show you how I make it. So let's get on, set up OBS and I'll show you what I see. So this is how I record my video. So as you can see, I am actually recording in a slightly weird way on OBS Studio because this is how I record my videos. So it may look confusing, but I'll break things down very quickly. So let's start off with the most noticeable thing. What the hell are these two scenes? What are they? Well, effectively, you can see when I hover my cursor over it, they are actually two basically 1920 by 1080 screens. So in editing, I can ensure that both my face cam and the game is in full quality 1920 by 1080. And the way I do that is if I go to my settings and my video, I actually record in a slightly weird resolution, which is 3840 by 1080, which is basically two 1920 by 1080 screens just side by side. And obviously I record in 60 FPS as well. And that basically allows me to have two 1920 by 1080 screens, and then in editing I can crop them and basically resize them, and I basically have a base 1920 by 1080 of both things, both my face cam and the gameplay. So let's move on to the audio mixer now, and as you can see I have got the game audio and my mic audio, and if I actually go to the advanced audio properties, you can see how I firstly have each source on one track. That basically means if anything goes wrong, I basically have them all going into one track should anything bad happen, because recording into one track is not what I want to do. I want to separate it into two different tracks, or each source has their own different track, which basically means if anything is too loud or too quiet, I can turn it up in post-production. And similarly, if there's something that I want in the video that's just the game and not my voice, I can, change that out. And again, I'll show you that in editing. But basically, my ideal solution is to record everything into different tracks. So as you can see, the game audio is going into track 2 and my mic is going into track 3. And obviously my desktop audio as well goes into both track 1 and track 2, should I want that to be heard on the on the video. Which again, if there's some audio in the video that I don't want in the video, I can simply take that out. And I also have a music track as well, which goes into that track should I want music on my videos, but generally I don't, so I just take that off. Or if I do, I use music from Morning Light Music because I just love their songs. And this is how I make sure that each audio is being separated into their respective tracks. So I only record up to a maximum of 4 tracks because that's the maximum that I need. And like I say, that audio, the track 1 is basically what I'll delete. It's basically as a backup, and then obviously I have audio tracks 2 and 3 for the game and mic, and then track 4 for any additional stuff. And for anyone wondering, these are the settings that I use when I record my videos as well. I'm pretty sure it's basically the same for when I stream as well. So that is a basic rundown of what I see when I record. So let me record the video and then we'll get into the editing. So now we are on Premiere, ready to start editing the video. So as you can see, I have got everything down here, actually apart from the main video, which is the most crucial part of this video. And now with that added, let's start editing. So I do like to consider myself kind of old school when I make videos, so I do usually start with an intro. If it's something that kind of leads into an intro, like the intro of my actual video, maybe I'll start with that, but usually I do start with a standard intro. And then after that, I add my main video. So let's go ahead and add that in. And as you can see, this is what I mean by the audio waveform. So you can see how track 1 has basically everything on it. Track 2 has the gameplay audio. You can see a little bit of the gameplay audio there, and obviously track 3 has my main voice. And like I said at the beginning, track 4 doesn't contain anything. So let's right click and unlink these stuff, and we'll get rid of this track and this track, and now we are left with these two, which is purely the gameplay audio and my voice as well. Then what I do is I alter these audios. So usually my voice goes to about -2 dB overall, and my gameplay goes to about -10 to -12 depending what I feel like. So let's start at -10 and we can always change it later. Now I layer my visual tracks a little bit weirdly, so I'm going to press Alt because what I do is I duplicate my main video track twice, and what I do for this is one obviously is the gameplay, one is the face cam, and then one is also the face cam but in full screen. What I also do is I add my cyan background as well, which is basically the outline for my face cam as well. So let's just zoom out and drag that to the end as well. And now let's apply the effects. So I do have an equalizer for my voice, so I'm gonna drag and drop that onto my voice track. So now my voice has my equalizer enabled, and then I also have a gameplay thing which is here, so I drag and drop that onto the gameplay track, which I have right there. I then have my face cam position right and my face cam outline right as well. That basically means that is now the face cam video. And to put into perspective, I made this from both my things being this. Well, not exactly this, you know, more like this, but you get the picture. And like I said, the top one is going to be my face cam in full screen, just like this. What a freeze frame, what a freeze frame. Now, what I usually do with my face cam being in full screen mode is sometimes I like to zoom it in on my face if there's like a funny moment. But the thing is, if I zoom in the actual video, it goes to the right like that, and it doesn't go straight in my face. And you may be thinking, why does it do that? Well, because of how I recorded my video, and the basic principle of editing is when you zoom in for the scale, you have something called an anchor point. And I think if I actually click the motion, this dot right here, that is called the anchor point, and that is basically marking the center of the video. So I could move that over to my face, or just put it on my nose like that. And now if I zoom it in, it is sort of a bit more centralized, but that's a bit too hectic for me. So what I mostly do myself is I right click on this source and I select make subsequence, and then I replace that with that subsequence just like that. And that basically means the anchor point is now dead in the center, and I can move this anywhere I want and it will maintain it in the center basically. So now you may be wondering, why have I not put anything on video 4? Surely I could put my face cam on video 4. Well, I don't actually tend to do that because I leave video 4 open for anything else, because what I actually do with my face cam is I hide it. And what I do when I want to bring it into the video, so let's say I want to bring the face cam in there, I basically split the two sections by pressing C, and that brings out my cutting tool, and I basically move it down onto the track where I can actually see it. That's basically how I edit my videos. It's nothing too drastic. It may just look a tad bit confusing. That's basically it. So for my outro, I drag the video all the way up to the maximum track that I have over the other videos, because the way editing works is all videos above are more prioritized than the videos underneath. So say for example, that's why I hid video 5, because if I didn't hide video 5, because this one is on the top of the top of the timeline, it's always shown, so I just hide that track until I need it. The audio doesn't really matter, so you can drag that where you want it. Now I need to find the point in my video where it starts going to the green screen here, and what I do is I remove the green screen, and that starts my video, if you've ever seen any of my other videos. So let's skip back to when the green starts, which is roughly there. So what we'll do is we'll actually cut a frame just before it, and then we'll grab the start of the video. So these are failed intro attempts, because I tend to make them, and that is why, like, say I wanted something in the video that I didn't want, I could split these two, remove that, and I'd still maintain the gameplay audio. That actually reminds me to link these all back up now because we finished with that. And let's split where the intro starts, which is here. So we're going to zoom in so we can see the waveforms a bit more clearly, and I like to start the video exactly as the outro starts. So what we'll do is we'll split it there, we'll get rid of that part of the video, and we'll bring this all back right where the thing starts like that. And then what I do is I apply a remove green screen effect to this track, and now it basically means it's transparent. This now comes down as the video starts, which is what I want. Now sometimes I like to start my face cam with the actual video, like the full face cam. So let's go into the video to a specific point. So this is where I want to cut the video, and I want my full face cam to be before this section, and then as I reveal the name of the game, that's when I want to cut to me showing the gameplay. So once again, split there, and what I do is I do unlink the sections that I want my face cam to basically be full screen, so I can move that down and it doesn't move anything, because if it wasn't, I actually can't move this down. It goes a little bit weird. So I unlink it and then I bring it down just like that. And now that means that my face cam is now full screen, and later on in the video it's now full screen, so, or it goes into my face cam. What I also do is I remove the gameplay audio track as well, just to ensure that there's nothing in the game that might be heard, even though I couldn't hear anything either through my headphones, but just in case there was anything in the gameplay that I didn't want when my face cam is full screen, I remove it. Now, sometimes when I am cutting different audios, especially around my voice, there's usually sometimes like a pop in it. It's sometimes not noticeable, but when you're editing, especially with headphones, it is noticeable. So there is a simple way to remove that. So what you do, well, especially on Premiere, and I'm pretty sure it applies to a few other editing softwares as well, is you go to where the clip ends, you right click, and you'll basically apply a crossfade in there, and what you'll do is you will move it around to whatever you like. Usually, even if it's just something as small as that, it usually removes the pop. Like I said, basic principles. I use the slicing tool, remove what I don't need, unlink if I want to move anything down, and I just do this for the entire video. So I do the whole video, zooming into my face cam whenever I need it to, basically finish everything except the music, and then we add the music later. So I will get to doing that, and I will catch up with you guys once I finished the entire video. It might take me a few days though. And whenever you're doing editing stuff, make sure you have a coffee or a tea. I personally prefer coffee. I've actually finished this, so I might need to go get another one. But make sure you have either a coffee or a tea. So it is now Wednesday, and I have finally finished the editing for the video. This took quite a while to do. Well, I say that, it didn't actually take too long, but if you ever wanted to see what an edit kind of looked like after I finished, this is what it looks like. So with all of this done, let's now start by adding in the next thing that I like to do for my videos, and that is basically add just a bit of music, just to try and fill in a few silences that I may have left in the video, and also just to try and up the feeling a little bit. For me, it just makes it a little bit more like a chill vibe if there's music. Now, I like to use some music from a site called Morning Light Music, which is royalty free. However, this video isn't sponsored. However, if you sign up for any subscription, and if you use code FETCHY10 at checkout, you will get a 10% discount on your purchase. So what I will mostly do is I'll just listen to some of the songs, and whatever I like the feeling of, I'll just input into my project. So this is something that I usually am quiet for, and I just listen to the music. So let's just go with Ocean Waves. Is this something that I could input into my thing? Sometimes I do go onto the website as well and just get some more music. So let's go onto the website and see if there's any music that I like. And the good thing about browsing music on this is that you can input the genre of the music, you can have the mood, even like the artist, and you know, like the beats per minute as well. So if you want like a really fast-paced song, you know, you can rank this all the way up. If you want a slow-moving song, you can rank it all the way down. It is really dependent on what you like. So obviously I want it to be a chilled out mood, but also something that's not too uplifting, if that makes sense. So I've got 4 of the Morning Light Music stuff that I enjoyed listening to, so I might need more, but we're going to start off with 4 because this video is only like 9 minutes long and songs are on average about like 2 minutes long, so 4 should be around the 9 to 10 minute mark. So let's start. So I actually don't know which song to start with. I think I might start off using Shoreline. So let's drag that into the timeline. As you can see, now we need to obviously move this this down, because if we play this as it is, it's a bit difficult to hear myself. So obviously we do need to do some tweaking with the audio. Now, especially when it comes to music production, it is a little bit trial and error when you are editing music, but my baseline is minus it by about 32 decibels, and then we can always change it around later. And now listening to it, I can't hear it all that much. Let's maybe try minus 28 decibels. I think that might be fine. I might go to a section in the song where it was quite loud to see if it makes any difference, like here. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Obviously we can alter it differently. I might obviously change, you know, the volume a little bit off camera, but for now I think it's a good bass, or you know, a good baseline. So minus 28 is around what I want it. Now, what I like to do at the end of the songs is have a nice transition into the next song. So what I'm going to listen to in this song is a point where we can then start the next song. So let's now go with Beach House. Why not? So because it sort of overrides the first track a little bit, we have to move it down to another audio track. So once again, we'll minus that by 28 decibels. And then what I do is I cut the track right at the end of the first one, and then I move that up, because what that then allows me to do is when I get to the end of this song, I can do the same thing with this. And it has a nice like fade out of the first song, and it starts the other song quite nicely. So if we listen to this, actually we'll put both of them on solo. This is kind of what we've got. So obviously it's a bit harsh in the way of how the song starts, but obviously with me speaking in the video, you're not really going to hear it as such. And with some of the music as well, it has like a nice fade in as well. So some of them aren't entirely noticeable. I think this is kind of one that, you know, starts right away. So it doesn't really have the same way of starting, but it's still good enough. And then once again, I will see where I can then start the next song on this one. However, when I usually edit with the music, I usually watch the entire thing back, because if there's anything where there's like a comedic like moment where if I zoom into my face cam, sometimes I stop the music and then obviously let it go on. So what I will do is I will basically just get to doing all of the music now, and then once again I'll catch up with you guys once I've fully finished the music and stuff. And just like that, all of the music has been added in, and I did use the majority of all 4 songs. There is only this final song, which was the splash, that obviously I wasn't able to use all of it, because if I did, it would have dragged out all the way past the start, you know, past the end of the video, which I don't want that to happen. So that is basically all of the audio stuff completed. So what I basically do now is I render the video. Now I need to quickly go ahead and change some stuff in my outro, because I think I need to update this list. So I'll get to doing that, and then we'll render out the video. So I have now updated the list. Obviously it hasn't updated on this one because I'm going to render out the outro first and then render out this video, which will automatically change this. So let's go into Media Encoder, which is the program that I use to render out the videos, and I'll show you what I do on there. And this is what I mean. If I click on the thing here to select where I want it to be saved, I obviously overwrite it with the already made file. So I do that, click yes, and then whatever that file is will be changed on the main video, which is here. So I'll just let these render, and then we will be on to making the thumbnail. And when I'm on the game, I just try and look for good places to basically get a thumbnail, like try and make sure that my framing and everything is all right, which sometimes can actually be quite challenging, especially with the, a big UI as well. I mean, I don't know if there's a button to like hide the UI, but like I say, we don't have any free cam either, so I basically just have to try and walk around and just try and like get up on like trees or whatnot to like try and get like a better framing or something. And this could work quite nicely. And then obviously make sure I have some negative space maybe on like the right or left to put my face in. So let's try that. So let's maybe see if we can go a bit more middle, if we can, maybe down a bit more, so we kind of level with the thing, and then we can almost do that, and then we can try and get me on the right there. I'm not actually too sure if this actually needs like a face cam. Like I'm wondering if there's maybe something else we can do. So yeah, I'll keep playing around a little bit, but I really don't know what I'll come up with. All right, I think I've got a decent photo, and again, if you saw the video, I'm already back up to the money I was on before, so There's just a sneak peek for you. So now that we've done that, let's go into Photoshop and make the thumbnail. So here we are inside of Photoshop, and what I want to do is I want to get rid of the UI. So what I do is I press Alt on one of these sides and I basically drag it out. So all of the UI is basically gone, and then we are left with the standard photo. Next thing I will do is just make sure that my framing is correct. So I move it around just to make sure that everything is the way I want it. And usually in the past, I would sort of like overcomplicate thumbnails, like make sure that I have a lot of text on and stuff like that. But the thing is that I don't think that actually needs it, because if you look at, you know, thumbnails, say from like Dan TDM, Mr. Beast, they don't really have like the titles of their video in their thumbnail. So I'm kind of, you know, going away from that, and I'm just sticking to like a standard thumbnail. However, I do want to at least make it look somewhat good. So what I might do is, because I've got some negative space down here, is I might put in like a price or something. So obviously in the video title I had like making lots of money, so I could have like an arrow pointing to, you know, the factories and like having a certain amount of money per minute. I also could maybe include the episode number in the corner. Maybe I could do something like that. There's many options, but like I said, I think I will stick with the price tag and the episode number. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you think of money, you usually think green. So let's maybe have like a green text to like mark the price. So let's go with something like that. Obviously we'll get the text tool. So if we had to give this if we had to guess how much money we would make per minute, what would we think? I would reckon I make about 5 million per minute, and I think having it as like one thing would be pretty good. So let's maybe increase the size, maybe rotate it slightly to maybe give it like a slight bit more character. We'll put it roughly in the corner, but obviously we need to make sure that, you know, there's going to be a timestamp here on the actual thumbnail. So let's maybe go with that, and we'll apply some effects as well to make it stand out. So maybe like a drop shadow and maybe a stroke. And a good thing to do as well when you're making thumbnails is kind of like zoom out and try and like compare like what your thumbnail would look like. So now that I look at it, I think it might actually be better if we move this up here possibly. And doing that, I'm actually questioning whether I actually need an arrow, but I think I might add one. And again, I can always remove it later. What actually could be really cool is if we could almost make the arrow come from underneath the text. I don't know if that effect would pull off quite nicely, but we'll have a play around and see if we can. Does that work, or is it better without the arrow? I don't know. Maybe we'll change the stroke thickness, probably. Maybe make it a black. I don't know if that stands out more. Yeah, I mean, we can always change it later. I might make this green a bit more vibrant as well, so it like stands out a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then, like I said, I want to possibly add an episode number. So that is the 4th episode I'm pretty sure I've done on Car Factory Tycoon. So obviously I'll make it white. We'll put it into the, let's try both corners. So let's start it in the top left for starters. Let me make sure that it's sized correctly as well. Let's also make sure that we put a drop shadow and a stroke on it as well, so it makes it stand out a bit more as well. Now it's a question of, does it work there or down there? I think bottom left actually looks a lot better, to be honest. And also increase the size of it a little bit more so it can stand out a bit more. Let's see how that looks like zoomed out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally experienced, you know, when it comes to editing thumbnails, but I think that's fine. I think that's all right. Obviously, I do want to improve my skills of, you know, making thumbnails, but I think for what I have right now, I don't think that's too shabby. So let's go ahead and save this and upload the video. But that's the boring stuff. You don't need to watch that. And just like that, the video is now online and ready to view for anyone. So I hope you did enjoy this video of me making my video, like from start to finish. If you liked it and you want to see more, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. But until then, take care and peace out.